Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look at the Columbus Blue Jackets today as we are starting to get some information on a potential Pierre Luc Dubois trade. We're going to be taking a look at that in this video. If you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe down below. Now let's take a look at the latest on Pierre Luc Dubois and the recent trade rumors. All right, so the pot is stirring right now in Columbus. A lot of things have been going on. Now they've started to have some COVID-related issues up in Columbus, guys missing practice, and obviously, well, the face of their franchise at this point, Pierre Luc Dubois, signing a contract, which, hooray, it seemed like a good thing for the fans. And now he's not going to training camp, and he wants to get traded out of Columbus. So now we're starting to hear potential teams that could be in for a deal. And I love this because I love Pierre Luc Dubois. I think he's a really talented player. It's a shame that Columbus is not going to likely be able to keep him at this point. But he is a really talented player, and I'd love to see him on the team that we are hearing rumors from. According to Pierre LeBrun, the Anaheim Ducks are an interested team in Pierre Luc Dubois. Yes, I love the idea of Dubois in Anaheim. The Kings, the Rangers, the Canadiens, and the Jets could also be interested. I don't like the idea of the Rangers getting him, but that's because he's a good player. I really like Pierre Luc Dubois, and he's a power forward that can score goals. And this is a guy that you could play, on penalty kill, on the power play. That's what makes him so versatile in Columbus. And this is a guy that he has the potential to eventually be a captain someday. Again, with maybe some of his attitude issues here with not wanting to play in Columbus. Maybe there's more to the story, so I can't get into that. Can't question his character too much. But at the end of the day, there's obviously some underlying issues in Columbus. Where have we heard this story from before? Rick Nash, Panarin, Bobrovsky. Never mind. But at the end of the day, the rumors are out there, and these are some of the teams that could be interested. Now, I think the Ducks would be a great fit for Pierre Luc Dubois. I think Dubois is one of those guys that, he's going to draw interest from the Ducks because they need another center. Because once Ryan Getzlaf leaves the Ducks, they've got some talented guys. I think Trevor Zegras is going to be their top center. And then you still have Dubois, which, again, maybe Dubois isn't as valuable at that point. But as of right now, the Ducks could use Zegras and Dubois. But if that's your tandem, Dubois and Zegras as your top two centers, watch out for the Anaheim Ducks. Not to mention they still have guys like Sam Steele, Troy Terry in the system that are continuing to develop, and they can play center as well. So the Ducks are going to have a really stacked center core if it stays that way. Let's take a look at the Ducks. Because currently, right now, we've also been hearing the rumors, about a Getzlaf, or not only a Getzlaf trade, that's been rumored, but he's in the final year of his contract, so that's more of a trade deadline move. But you have Adam Henrique, you have David Backes, who was just bought out by the Anaheim Ducks, Rickard Rakell, who is on an unbelievably good contract. I don't know if he's going to stick around in Anaheim. That's going to be a very valuable asset to the Ducks, that $3.7-something million contract. They could trade him at the trade deadline and really get a lot for him because you look at what they have. They have Henrique, Getzlaf. If you still have Danton Heinen, who can play center, Troy Terry, Derek Grant, Carter Rowney, Sam Steele, like I mentioned, and you still have Trevor Zegras, who we saw what he did in the World Juniors. Not to mention, you still have other centers in your system. Guys like Jacob Perreault, Isaac Lundestrom. Who are these? Antoine Morand, Chase DeLeo, Sam Carrick. So they've got a lot of centers that they can use. And those guys aren't all going to play center. There's only, ideally, you want to be in the top six, a lot of those guys. So comes down to the situation where maybe those guys get traded, or the guys like Rickard Rakell and Adam Henrique get traded so they could keep the young guys like Lundestrom, like Zegras, like Steele. So that's something to keep an eye on. The New York Rangers are another interesting team because they've got a superpower group. Now, the question is, why do they need him? They just re-signed Ryan Strome this offseason. Well, I guess if you could take an upgrade, Pierre Luc Dubois would be an upgrade. And again, it's a win-now mode for the New York Rangers. So even if they keep him for the year, It may cost them a pretty penny, though. Would you be willing to give up a Keandre Miller and potentially one of a guy like Philip Hedl? That's a lot for the Rangers to give up. Would they want to do that? Another interesting team, obviously, because we are talking about Pierre Luc Dubois. If that is the most French name in the NHL, that is it. Pierre Luc Dubois is definitely generating interest from Marc Bergevin and the Montreal Canadiens. And the rumored price tag, according to the 31 Thoughts podcast, the Jackets have a high price tag for Dubois. If the Canadiens want him, they'd likely have to give up Suzuki and Kotkaniemi. So you're giving up 2 centers for the 1. And remember, Jesperi Kotkaniemi is a former 3rd overall pick. And Nick Suzuki, we saw what he did in the playoff bubble last year in 2020. Do the Canadiens really want to give that up for Dubois? If Bergevin is really that high on Dubois, maybe they make that work, right? But remember, Dubois is only on a 2-year contract. You don't know what he's thinking about 2 years from now. Maybe he doesn't want to stay in Columbus and they have another headache to deal with down the line. So those are just some of the things to keep an eye on. Like I said, I think the Kings are an interesting team as well. Quentin Byfield and Pierre-Luc Dubois as your top 2 centers. That would make the Kings, a heck of a lot better down the middle. But remember, they still have guys like Alex Turcotte who could play center. So again, teams with a lot of centers. The Jets, I think the Jets are interesting because you look at their group, they have guys like Stastny on the 3rd line, because of guys like Scheifele down the middle already. Do they really need a guy like Dubois? But again, I guess it's more depth to your team. That's how they're looking at it. Because look, you got Scheifele, you have Stastny, and Adam Lowry. So maybe you could see that fit work. Because remember, the Ducks are starting this season without Brian Little. So maybe having a guy like Pierre-Luc Dubois just replaces a guy like Brian Little for the long term. So guys, like I said, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know some mock trades and where do you think Pierre-Luc Dubois will be traded. Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe down below. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a great day.